warning citizens to prepare for widespread damage.
Well, as you heard at the top of this newscast, we certainly are not out of the woods yet, and if you have any questions, you can call our Neighbors for Neighbors phone bank. Workers are standing by. The number to call is 597-4404. You're looking at a live picture. They will be there until midnight and back again at 5:30 tomorrow morning. Again, that number is 597-4404, and they've already taken hundreds of calls just today, many of those responding to our giving you the numbers this afternoon. We hope that you'll continue to call if you have any questions that might be helpful.
And the story ever-changing. There is a lot more ahead on News 4. We're going to take you to the National Hurricane Center for more on Hurricane Lili.
And, of course, we'll have the exclusive Fantasy 5 drawing, so stay right there.
There's also been a major upset in the second trial for O.J. Simpson. We'll have all the latest.
And if you're tracking Lili, you can call the News 4 weather hotline for all the latest information at number 305-471-9494. Stay with us.
Roaches have an annoying habit of making themselves at home, in your home, making their nests and laying thousands of eggs, invading your territory. Combat Superbait brand insecticide is the best way to defend your home. Roaches eat Combat and share it back at the nest, destroying the nest, eggs too. Now your home is all yours. Combat Superbait, your home's best defense against roaches.
I'm terrific, I'm the best. I stand out from all the rest. And next to you, I'm even better. I'm stupendous, I'm the most. With pizzazz, I'm overdosed. And next to you, I'm even better. Better than ever now.
Tonight on Dave, it's a heart-stopping night of comedy.
I'm a cardiologist.
With Jerry Seinfeld, Gary Shandling, and Paul Reiser.
I love to entertain. It's fun.
Tonight.
All right, we want to get back to the story on all of your minds. Our top story, Hurricane Lili. Right now, Brian Norcross is standing by trying to narrow the possibilities. Not easy, Brian.
And it's been a very complicated storm. 2 stalls here, very annoying storm. Let's check in with Jerry Gell out at the National Hurricane Center. They've been watching this one closely as we have. Jerry, we actually had a model that predicted these little loops and stalls in this thing. What do you make of that? Have we exceeded technology here beyond we think our capabilities? I didn't think your models could do that.
No, I didn't either, and maybe we'll find out it was just a little blind luck, but it sure was a weird coincidence if it's just luck, and I think now that things have stabilized and we're back on pretty much on the forecast track, and it looks like it is beginning to make the turn, and I think we're not totally out of the woods here, but things certainly look better than they did earlier this evening.
Now, we looked at the vapor loop a little while ago. I showed the folks the cold front coming in with that strong upper level disturbance moving by. We think that this, we can see in the satellite picture a shift of the orange clouds on our picture to the northeast. This is that influence of that system, we think, now just beginning?
I think so, yeah, and I think it's beginning to happen, and I feel good about it.
Now, the next big advisory for folks, I know you're going to put out an intermediate advisory at 2 a.m., but next big advisory is 5 a.m. We've been advising folks that that's important just in case something funny happens overnight. You don't think, do you, that you will change any watches or warnings? But no, there's still a slight chance, I guess, right?
That's right. My best guess is that we're going to stand pat, stay with what we've got for the rest of the storm, except, of course, for the Bahamas, right, where we obviously are going to have to change to a warning sometime tomorrow. But you're absolutely right. If it's a change, if something should happen tonight, then 5 o'clock is really the time, because it doesn't make much sense for us to change the warnings in the middle of the night. Nobody would get the message anyhow. All right, Gary Gerald, thanks very much. It'll be interesting to see your analysis of how smart that model really was. All right, back with our local weather, and we have an urban flood advisory in effect here. We'll have that for you in a few minutes.
All right, thank you very much, Brian.
Hurricane Lili and that threat of flooding is talking about already forcing several school closings.
Yeah, and we want to give you a partial list of those right now. First off, Dade and Broward schools closed. That's for a regularly scheduled teacher's work day.
Also closed the St. Lawrence School, the St. Thomas Episcopal School, Beth Ann Day School, Sacred Heart School, and Miami Christian School.
The Princeton Christian School, the Children's Rainbow Christian Academy, St. Bartholomew Catholic School, the Hollywood Christian School.
Also, St. John's the Apostle School, Westwood Christian School, St. Mark's Episcopal School, and the Lehrman Day School.
Again, this is only a partial list. If you have questions, please contact your school. Now, police in South Florida have been investigating 2 shootings tonight, one in Dade, one in Broward, the first one in Miami. All we know so far is that 2 people were shot there. One is in critical condition right now, the other in stable condition. Right now, no word on suspects or a motive.
Also, one man is in the hospital after a shooting in Fort Lauderdale tonight. Police tell News 4 it appears to have been some sort of domestic dispute. The victim was shot in the face inside the home around 5 o'clock tonight, but staggered outside where he collapsed in the street. Now, police found the gun on the roof of a house. They say they know who fired that weapon. However, they still haven't caught the suspect.
Tonight, Dade's strong mayor in his first official act since taking office.
Pounding surf in association with Hurricane Lili. Now, around Havana, we've had peak wind gusts close to 50 and 60 miles an hour. But just to the south of Havana, over the south-central communities right along the coast of Cuba, we have had some wind gusts around 115 miles an hour. So certainly some tremendously strong winds in association with Hurricane Lili. Let's check out the latest information that we have on the hurricane. And Hurricane Lili is still a very strong Category 1 hurricane, packing maximum sustained winds up to 90 miles an hour. It is roughly centered about 35 miles south-southwest of Veradero, Cuba, as of the 8 o'clock advisory. It continues to move to the northeast, and the central pressure down to 975 millibars. The hurricane warnings have gone up now for the northwestern Bahamas. Hurricane warnings remain posted, too, for western and central sections of Cuba, as well as the Isle of Youth. Then hurricane watches have gone up for the central Bahamas. Meanwhile, tropical storm warnings, too, are in effect for the Florida Keys, from the dry Tortugas northward over towards Key Largo. Now, right around the Florida Keys, it's good news because we do think the hurricane will probably stay to the south of the Florida Keys, so the brunt of the worst conditions will stay to the south of Florida, but there's still that chance that some of those stronger wind gusts, maybe winds around 39 miles an hour or higher, could quite possibly brush the southern fringes of Florida. Hence, those tropical storm warnings have gone up for the Florida Keys. But as I was mentioning, some of the worst conditions so far have been sustained in Cuba and the Isle of Youth. Just some tremendously heavy amounts of rain and strong winds. We have some pictures to show you of some of the rough conditions yesterday in Cuba. Western Cuba was already getting hammered by heavy rain from Lili yesterday. President Fidel Castro told Cubans to prepare for possible catastrophic damage. Civil defense workers went door to door in deteriorating neighborhoods, urging people to seek shelter in stronger buildings. Lili already has left 8 people dead, and thousands of others have been homeless in Costa Rica, Honduras, and in Nicaragua. So indeed, we've had some devastating scenes coming from Central America and likewise across Cuba because of the heavy rain and the very, very strong winds. Now, heavy rain is certainly going to be first and foremost on our minds today. So far, the worst conditions have been south of Florida, but there is a chance that some of those heavier tropical feeder bands could feed northward into Florida. And I'm sure a lot of folks in southern Florida are not sitting very tight this morning because they're kind of antsy about the prospects of more heavy rain coming on in for today. And with us this morning, we have our very own Mike Seidel. He's been from Key Largo, Florida. And Mike, what's the latest situation? Has the weather changed at all in the last hour or so?
No real change here, Cheryl. We're still waiting for some rain. We haven't seen any rain out in almost 24 hours. We've been watching the radar. You have too, and that one feeder band remains about 40 or 50 miles off the coast here from the Keys. This is the Florida Bay off to my right. This is the area on the north side of US 1 and the north side of Key Largo. By the way, Key Largo is in the upper Keys. You can see the flag behind us now waving in the wind, more of a northeasterly component to the wind than an easterly wind, which we've seen over the past couple of days. As far as rain here, they can handle it, but no more rain is really necessary in Miami. They've had too much rain over the past week to 10 days. Some areas yesterday alone picked up another 3 to 5 inches of rain. in an area which is suffering from very poor drainage at this point because there's a lot of standing water, and it just takes a while to get that water out of the way. Even at a normal time of the year when you have a little bit of rain, an inch or so, they have problems in some neighborhoods, and that's the situation now in Sweetwater, one of those areas in West Dade which is going through some tough times with the standing water.
Mike, can you kind of describe the mood or the atmosphere of the folks down there? Are they kind of sitting on